No, zoom out. Oh, wait there. I just caught a feather. Is that good luck? Okay, focus. This is my Q&A. This is the first time I've spoken on camera, so it's a little bit weird for me. It might be a little bit weird for you as well, but we'll see how it goes. Where should I start? Okay, I'll start with my age. So, how old am I? So, I was born the day before Stanley Kubrick died. Figure that out, I guess. But another common question I received was where I'm from and what my nationality is. If you couldn't tell already by my accent, I'm British. I was born in the United Kingdom, well, more specifically England. Somebody asked, what is your height? I think I'm either 5'9" or 5'10". So I'm not small, but I'm not particularly tall as well. There's so many flies. It's so annoying. A big one I got asked was, when did I start dancing? But I'm gonna also fuse this with what made me start dancing, so kind of answer it as one whole thing. Alright, I've got to try and think about this. I started dancing when I was 9 years old. I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, obsessed with his dancing. But what got me into dancing was my mom knew how to do the moonwalk, which is pretty cool. And I asked her to teach me how to do the moonwalk. She ended up teaching me, and then I ended up just moonwalking everywhere. All I did was moonwalk. So that stage from about 9 till I think about 12 years old, it was all Michael Jackson dancing, really. But as soon as high school came around, I started to explore popping and waving, so body popping really. I first saw this video. I don't know the dancers in the video. I wish I could remember who they are. They were on a talent show, it was a duo, and they were kind of doing robotics. When I saw that video, it inspired me and I was just hooked on the whole waving, popping. I can't really remember the video, but if I do remember it, I'll play a bit of it on the screen. But yeah, that's the earliest video I can remember seeing, which really inspired me to start dancing. Throughout the whole of high school, my thing was popping and waving. I did explore breakdancing as well. I did used to take a few breakdance lessons. I wasn't too fond of it. I was more into the whole popping, waving, tutting, locking, those kind of things. During this time, I also saw a few other dance videos. The ones I can think of that really inspired me are Non-Stop's Pumped Up Kicks video, which was when doing animation dancing to a dubstep song was just, I mean, it was like everything. There was also the Jabberwockies, of course. I watched them a bunch on YouTube. For the Jabberwockies, it was most of their America's Best Dance Crew videos that kind of inspired me. I actually have a few videos of myself with a Jabberwockies mask dancing in my living room. Yeah, that's quite funny. I can't find that video. I think it's somewhere, but I don't know. There was also the Lay Twins video, the one where, like, battling Bone Breakers, or I can't really remember, but that got me hooked onto then the Lay Twins. At this stage, I was inspired by the whole dubstep animation dancing. I was obsessed with the Jabberwockies. I was getting into the Lay Twins a lot more, and just the popping and waving and robotic stuff. So at 16, I started taking dancing a little bit more seriously. That's because I started my Instagram page when I was 16. At this time, my dance style is you can really see the influence from the Lay Twins, most notably. I was inspired by all of the dancers I watched, but most particularly them. That's why it was a bit of a confusing time for me, dance-wise, because I wanted to be myself, I wanted to do my own thing, but I couldn't really get rid of this influence from the Lay Twins. I was trying to use what I've learned by watching all of these dancers to make it into my own style. And from 16 to 17, I think I did that because something kind of just clicked, and I was just like, I don't want to be them, I want to be me, if that makes sense. I mean, it should make sense. I want to be the best I can be. You should just want to surpass them. So I'm just thinking, if I just keep dancing like this, the best I can do is be on the level of the dancers I watch, but I want to go further. When I first created my Instagram page, it wasn't actually with the intention for people to see it. It was more just when I film myself dancing in my bedroom, I usually have to end up deleting it for storage. So I wanted to find a place where I can put those videos and still have them without them being lost forever. When I first created it, I think it was under the name CSB Dance, I'm pretty sure. It was privated, I didn't follow anybody. It was just for my videos to live there, if you know what I mean. If that makes sense. But before that, I did post some videos of me dancing to Facebook and my personal Instagram. It was pretty embarrassing, but I ended up deleting them all. It was quite embarrassing. When I was about 12, I also posted a few dance videos to YouTube. I don't think you can find them now. I've deleted most of them, but there might be some still out there. If there are, they'll be right here. They're pretty cringy, but we all start somewhere. So yeah, I had this Instagram profile. For some reason I decided to make it public, and so people can see my videos and see the reaction I get if people like my dancing. Before this, it was kind of my secret. People knew that I did dance, like my family and friends. I never really spoke about it. It was kind of just my own secret thing, because I was genuinely just too nervous and shy to let anybody know, which is not much has changed, but it's kind of different now. I started posting a bunch of videos because I was dancing a lot, so I was putting them on there. I started getting some comments and some likes and stuff like that, but for a long time, for probably about a year, it was just completely dead. There was nothing happening on my page. It was just me posting for the fun of it, really, and to keep my videos somewhere. But after a while, it kind of started getting a little bit of traction, and this really made me start taking it a lot more seriously, so developing my craft a lot more. This was at 16. I'm really going for it, and trying to build a little bit of a social media profile as well, and have a bit of a community. Trying to find the niche of people that I want to target and relate to, and it is what it is today. It's still growing, I'm still growing. It feels just like the beginning of the journey. So 16 moving on to 17 and 18, I think I really found my own style. I kind of detoxed myself from all the influence from the other dancers, or fused it and made it my own, which I think I can comfortably say now that where I am today is my style and it's unique to me. And I think I've used the influences to my advantage. And that kind of brings me to where I am now. I mean, my journey's still going. It feels like it's just the beginning still. I don't think I've missed much. Yeah. What is your favourite movie? Okay, so I am pretty obsessed with films and cinematography and all that kind of stuff. I do have a favourite film. Ever since I watched it, it's been my favourite film, and that's Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese and stars Robert De Niro. I would definitely recommend it to everybody. To name a few other films that are up there, I have The City of God, which is a Brazilian film. I love that film. Shutter Island is one of my favourite films with Leonardo DiCaprio. Pretty much every Quentin Tarantino film. Yeah, Kill Bill, probably in particular. There's a few weird films I like as well, so that's films like Enter the Void by Gaspar Noé and The Space Odyssey. A Clockwork Orange, those kind of films, because I kind of like them artistically. I think they're really cool. Yeah, those are pretty much the ones that stand out to me right now, but I guess it's always changing. This is a really good question. What do you feel when you dance? Okay. To answer that, I think I can say that you can see how I feel when I dance. I probably don't have to say how I feel. You can see it, really. The thing is, sometimes I feel a lot of things, and sometimes I don't feel anything. So if I'm really upset and sad and I'm dancing, then it's probably not going to make me feel happy. So I'm probably going to get even more sad when I dance, because my whole thing is, it's just me expressing how I feel. It's not really to change how I feel, I think. And it's the same with if I'm feeling happy, I'm going to dance as if I'm happy. You can relate that to all the emotions a human feels. But most of the time, it's sad. Sometimes when I'm dancing, if you're really deep into, I guess, the whole expressing yourself and through movement, you can kind of hit a stage, which I think a lot of dancers will relate to this, where you just let go of everything and you're not really thinking about anything, you're just moving, and you don't really feel much until it's over or until the song's finished. It's almost a spiritual experience. It feels amazing. It's almost like a high, but without drugs, I guess. Yeah, it's really cool. I've been asked this quite a few times ever since I've been on Instagram and stuff. Why are your videos black and white? You're probably not used to seeing me in this kind of setting, so for that, bear with me. Okay, there are a few reasons. It's nothing too crazy. I've had quite a few messages asking me about this. If I wanted one explanation for it to be the main reason behind it, a lot of dance videos now are bright colours and all these crazy colours and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with that because it does really well and it's really appealing to the eye. I mean, it's actually smart to film like that, but the niche that I want to hit is a little bit different to the audience that those videos appeal to. It's kind of me going a little bit unorthodox and against what the norm is for dance videos. So everybody wants everything to appeal to the eye, bright colours, crazy settings. I mean, I want to do crazy settings as well, and I've done some videos which do take advantage of colour and appeal to the eye and have done pretty well. But on the other hand, there have been videos of me in my bedroom in black and white which have done even better. So it kind of goes to show that there is a niche audience out there. It does represent the going against what the norm is for dancing, I think. And I do think my dance style does that as well. Because these questions about the black and white filter, I keep it to that. So when people see me dancing in my bedroom and say the video does well, they're like, so I can be nervous and shy and I don't have to worry about it. I can just post online and it can still do well. Because I think that audience that I'm looking for are those kind of people who are a little bit shy, a little bit nervous. I kind of want to bring us all together. But obviously I want to appeal to everyone as well, but I think the real niche, the real core of my audience will be those kind of people. But there are some other reasons. I like having everything dark and a bit weird, and I think black and white only helps that. And I feel in a way it kind of represents me a little bit more. I wouldn't represent myself as colours bursting everywhere. I think it's kind of dark and you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, I don't know. But when I first started doing it, it was more to keep a theme on my Instagram page. So to keep a colour scheme, which was black and white. And in my bedroom, there are quite a lot of colours. So when I'm dancing in my room and you can see all the colours, it's a little bit distracting. Put the black and white filter on, I was like, oh, you can see me better and you're more focused on me dancing. it just carried on, I think. Yeah. That's why I do black and white. I think that's how I want to answer that question. There's not much more I can say really about that, but I think I'm pretty bad at explaining myself. I hope it makes sense to the majority of people. Who is your favourite dancer? Myself? No, but I do feel like everybody should put themselves as the favourite dancer. I mean, what's wrong with it? You want to be the best you can be, because surely the way you dance is how you see good dancing, if that makes sense. You want to dance the way you think dance is done best. So I think that kind of makes sense. I do have a lot of dancers that inspire me a lot. I'm always discovering new dancers. Pretty much every dancer I follow inspires me, but it's hard to pick one favourite because there's a bunch of different styles of dancing that I like watching. What's your favourite book? I haven't really read many books, but To Kill a Mockingbird. How do you train freestyle? So if you didn't know already, all of my videos are freestyled. I think there's only two or three videos that are choreography that I made. I can and I do perform and create choreography, but I think I find more joy in freestyling because I think it's the most purest form of expression for me anyway. I find it easier to express myself through freestyling because it feels more real, and the thoughts and feelings you have right now are literally being represented in the movements you're performing. But how do I train freestyling? So to begin with, it is different for everybody else, but for me, to put it simply, just freestyling every day as much as you can. Just put some music on, dance, and just forget about everything. There is a big issue which I came across, and I think most dancers watching this came across, is when you're freestyling, or you're kind of judging yourself and you're thinking, oh well, I'm being so repetitive, I look stupid, all my moves are silly, it doesn't feel right. You kind of have to get over that mental barrier of caring about how good your moves look when you want to freestyle. Of course you want to learn techniques and styles and movements and stuff like that, but for freestyling, there is one technique that I used to use, which was dancing in complete darkness. So maybe with a blindfold or with the lights off, and just putting some headphones in, playing whatever music you listen to now, or you can just put a random song on and just move. Forget about dancing, forget about this, just move your body how you feel it's right to move, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense saying it, but if you were to try it, it would make sense. Removing the sense of sight removes your judgment of yourself, so that technique helps getting over that mental barrier for me. But yeah, other than that, I think just freestyling every day. But of course, you don't want to just practice freestyling. You can't just practice freestyling. As they say, the more words you have, the more sentences you can create. You do obviously want to learn moves, techniques, and then mix that and put it all into your freestyling. I don't really know what else to say for that. Do you have a hidden talent? I think dancing is actually my hidden talent, because, as I said, it was always this big secret for me. Not many people knew that I was dancing, especially people locally. They knew that I had danced, but they didn't know I was still dancing. So every time I told someone, which was very rare, they'd be quite surprised. I might have a hidden talent that I haven't even discovered yet, but I'm pretty sure dance could class as my hidden talent. Maybe not anymore, but I don't know. How do you see your future? I think it's pretty obvious by now that I want my future to be revolving around dancing. I study criminology. I've been studying it for a few years now. So that's basically what I do at university. It's hard to kind of merge the two. That's why I think ever since I've been studying at university, I've kind of been living two lives. That sounds really weird, but it basically is that. So I'm studying criminology, but I'm also dancing, and my real main passion is the dancing. Studying criminology is almost me staying in the education side of things, so just in case everything goes wrong. But my main passion is dance. I want to travel everywhere, teach dancing, I want to perform all over the world. I want to do everything you can do to do with dance. I do feel like dancing is a pretty underappreciated art form. If you compare it to things such as music and film, it is pretty underappreciated. You don't get as many massive successful, when I talk about successful, I mean stars who are just dancers. You've had the occasional ones throughout history. You've had the Fred Astaire's. You could probably class Michael Jackson. Even he does music. But even the biggest dancers today, as successful and incredible as they are, it's hard to relate to a really wide audience. That's why I feel when taking this dance route, I think you need to explore more avenues. I would like dancing to be the core of my success, but I would like to explore other things as well, which could benefit my dancing, make it even more successful and get more eyes onto my craft. But it can't be ignored that there are so many dancers that are making a good living off just dancing, which is great. Like, it's so cool to see. It is pretty difficult. I do feel like I have so much to show and so much to express, and there's so many things that I want to teach, and I feel like I want to show everybody my craft and my artistry all around the world to different cultures and see how they react. Yeah, it's a huge dream. One thing that I'm kind of developing, I don't know if it's a thing already, but so this would be like a sub-concept, sub-theory to musicality. So having all the things to do with musicality, but applying them to the way people pronounce words and everything to do with their voice, really. If I was to give an example, so if someone pronounces an S like a S, you can be like S kind of thing. It's kind of sharp, and if you've got like a ch, like a little ch. I don't know, these are just little things I've been thinking of that I think are quite cool, and I haven't seen too many people talk about them. It's something that I really like to focus on, because musicality, as important as it is to focus on the rhythms of the songs, the grooves, the beats, the instruments, and the way they sound and their rhythms and tempos and things like that, the voice is kind of underappreciated when people are dancing to a song. I think it is separate to dancing to what somebody's saying. So if someone says, I don't know, I have a gun, and you have a gun, I mean, it's a little bit different to that. It's more the harsh pronunciations or the soft pronunciations, the notes, the pitches. I think that makes sense.
Smoke like that song, that's fire, that's my long. I got the dope in my song, yo. She wanna grind out the rock, I pull out like a she pull out, I'm like a.
I'll meet you in the park. I'll be calm and collected, but we knew right from the start. Oh, gotta sell my soul, cause I can't say no, no, I can't say no. Then my limbs are frozen, my eyes won't close.
Got up on the fucker, holy water on the clip. Slick Scott, skinny scissor hands, cut his fanny pack. Bulletproof vest upon his chest to get revenge back. Black Richie Rich gon' hold the clip until the fans pop. Little Maggie, I decipher this. Did the little nigga penicillin like the dentist did. I'm gon' hit up dentist, fuck a sentence, let's go hit a lick. Told my mother, look at this.
Used to be with them, I can't compete. Back in the day when I jumped cabs, I got blacklisted, couldn't get one from my gaff. But it's calm, it's cool, it's cold, it's nice. When it snows up, babe, when I draw my babe blade, it's a twist on me, keep turning your grave like a wrist bar, screw your fake pain. Get your complaint, ability ain't no space, no caps, no one can imitate, no hoods, no ass, that who you fucking man. Strange.
I don't feel the pain no more. I spend years at the crib, so
Okay, so music. My music's always changing, but I think it's pretty safe to say that I kind of like most music. Could go from listening to Cosmogramma by The Flying Lotus and Edits, Crying Over Crows for No Reasons, to things like jazz, John Coltrane, all the way to progressive rock. I really like Pink Floyd and King Crimson. Also there's grunge. I love Nirvana, all of their albums. I can be listening to some of X's music. I'm really into his old music, his kind of shouty, aggressive music. I can be listening to that and Death Grips. I really like Death Grips. I can listen to a bit softer music, so the likes of Frank Ocean, Dominic Fike. Really love Billie Eilish's music. Childish Gambino is a big one as well for me. And then there's obviously rap and hip hop, which I love as well. There's some boom bap hip hop that I'm pretty into. I really like Mos Def and the Tribe Called Quest. Then you've got the likes of Kendrick Lamar, and then obviously you've got Prince, Michael Jackson, the iconic ones. But yeah, it's all kind of jumbled. I don't really stick to one thing. But right now, I think what I'm listening to now, I can open up Spotify and look at my most recently listened to songs. So the artists I've been listening to at the moment are Slow Tie, Dominic Fike, Frank Ocean, Billie Eilish and Nirvana. Also Tyler Creator's new album, which I think is his best album. And I think this is kind of the same for dancing as well, so the music I choose to dance to, but that's more of the mood I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling sad, I'll put some sad music on. If I'm feeling really energetic and happy, I'll put music on that represents that. So it brings it out of me more. That's pretty much it for this video. If you made it this far, then thank you. Yeah, thank you for watching. I don't really know how to end this. Thank you to you, whoever's watching, wherever you're from. Hopefully you can understand me, I guess. But I love you all. I really appreciate all the constant support on all of my dance videos. Make sure to check them out. I hope I've revealed a few things about myself, and there's something to learn about me. If not, I guess this whole video is a failure, but I don't know. This video is just for the people who care, really. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. A bird just landed on that tree, and it really just distracted me. I feel like no one's really bad at dancing, because to me a big part of dancing is expressing how you feel, and nobody can really judge how you feel, so then who can judge how good you are? Obviously there's competitions and techniques that make people look better to some people, but I think at the very core of movement art and expressing your emotions, only you can judge your own emotions and how well you've expressed them. That's why I've never called anybody a bad dancer, because it's their thing. People can have better techniques than others, of course, but you know.